Hey everyone, so let's talk about something I bet you felt. You've got all these amazing, powerful AI tools at your fingertips, right? But somehow, your actual work still feels stuck in the mud, full of manual steps. Well, today, we're going to demystify a concept that's set to change all of that, AI agents. We're going to break down exactly what they are, how they function, and why there's such a huge leap forward for actually getting work done.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll tackle that nagging problem, why work gets stuck in the first place. Then we'll meet the AI agent, see how its action loop works, compare the different flavors they come in, check out some real-world examples, and finally, we'll zoom out to see what this all means for the future of work.
All right, let's dive right into the core problem. It's all about this gap, you know? The one between all the cool, shiny AI tools we have and the messy, complicated reality of our day-to-day jobs.
And it's a feeling I'm sure a lot of you can relate to. We have this incredible tech, right? So why does so much of our workdays still feel like we're just clicking, copying, and pasting things from one window to another?
Well, the answer, really, is that real work is just complex. It's almost never just one single action, is it? We're constantly jumping between different systems, trying to navigate these weird internal rules and get approvals, figuring out timing and priorities, and then there are all the handoffs between actual human beings. Most of our current tools are pretty good at doing one thing, but they just can't handle that whole messy, complicated dance.
And that is where our hero comes in, the AI agent. You see, this is a system that's built from the ground up to do things, to act, not just to sit there and wait for you to tell it what to do next.
I mean, the secret sauce is right there in the definition. An AI agent can perceive information, it can make decisions, and this is the really important part, it takes action to hit a specific goal. It's designed to be proactive, not reactive.
So this all boils down to three core superpowers that really make it different. First, there's awareness. It can see what's going on. Second, decision-making. It can figure out the next best move based on its goals. And third, and most importantly, action. It actually does the thing. It executes the task. It's not just making suggestions, it's actually acting.
Okay, so how does this actually work under the hood? How does an agent keep moving work forward without someone constantly poking it? The answer is something called the action loop.
And this loop is what makes it continuous. See, it's not a one-and-done kind of deal. It observes what's happening, it decides on an action, it acts, and then it repeats. It just keeps going, adapting every time new information comes in. This cycle is what gives it the horsepower to manage a whole workflow from start to finish.
Okay, I know this might still sound a little abstract, so let's bring it down to earth with a super simple, everyday example we've all struggled with: scheduling a meeting. This is a perfect way to see it in action. So the agent observes that new meeting request email land in your inbox. It decides its first move is to check everyone's calendars for open slots. Then it acts by sending out a few proposed times. And once it gets a reply, it acts again. It books the meeting, puts it on the calendar, and sends out the final notifications to everyone. See? It didn't just do one step, it handled the entire sequence.
So now that we've got the action loop down, it's really important to get this next point. Not all agents are created equal. They can operate with very different levels of independence.
This difference is absolutely key. Think about a traditional AI, like a chatbot. It's reactive. It's like a genie in a bottle. You have to rub the lamp, you prompt it, it grants a wish, it responds, and then it goes back in the bottle and waits. An AI agent is totally different. You give it an outcome, a goal, and it works continuously, on its own, handling all the different steps it needs to take to get there.
Look, if there's just one thing you remember from this whole explainer, make it this. Traditional AI helps you think. AI agents help you get work done. They are all about execution.
Okay, so in the world of agents, there are basically two main flavors. You've got your conversational agent. Think of this like a superpowered assistant that you chat with. It gathers information and acts when you tell it to. Then you've got the autonomous agent. This one's more independent. You give it a set of rules and a goal, and it just goes. It monitors situations and acts on its own, without you having to ask every single time. And the real difference here isn't about which one is smarter, it's all about how much responsibility you're willing to hand over.
All right, enough theory. Let's talk about the real world. How does this actually look inside a business? And, what are the gotchas? Well, think about it. They could automatically chase down new sales leads for your team, or intelligently figure out where a really complicated customer support ticket needs to go. They can coordinate messy project schedules, handle all those routine internal IT requests, or even monitor your systems for problems and instantly alert the right engineer. Each one of those might seem like a small thing, but when you add them all up, it's a huge deal.
Okay, let's just tackle the elephant in the room. I know when people hear the word autonomous, their minds can jump straight to rogue robots and sci-fi movies. But that is not what we're talking about here. That's not how these systems are actually designed to work in a business.
The truth is, effective agents are the opposite of rogue. They're built with really strong guardrails. They have to follow very specific rules, they can only operate with the permissions you give them, and, this is crucial, they're programmed to know when they're out of their depth and need to hand a problem over to a human. They're here to support teams, not to get rid of accountability.
But let's be real for a second. Getting this right is tough. It's one thing to have a cool demo, but it's a whole other ballgame to make an agent a reliable, trusted part of your daily workflow. It needs deep access to business context. You need to set crystal clear boundaries for what it can and can't do. It needs a plan for when things go wrong, and it always needs human oversight. Honestly, this is the hurdle where a lot of these early agent experiments stumble.
Okay, so let's zoom out and wrap this up. Let's look at the big picture here. Why is this whole idea of AI agents such a game changer for the future of work?
It really brings this full circle. At the end of the day, an AI agent is an active system. It's designed to chase a goal. It observes, it decides, and it acts. And that is a fundamental shift. We're moving from passive tools to active partners in our work. And that leads me to my final thought for you. As every business out there tries to get rid of mind-numbing manual work and just become more efficient, AI agents aren't just another shiny new feature. They are becoming a foundational building block for the modern company. So really, the question isn't if they're going to change how we work. The real question is, how are you going to start designing your work around them?